Hello, this is Nikita from Plumsail team. Let me show you our public web forms with direct SharePoint integration, forms which you can freely share on the web, and users can submit data directly to your SharePoint tenant. As you can see, all field types are supported, including user or group, attachments, lookup, and more. So, let me show you how easy it is to set up. Here I have official suppliers list. And our scenario is we want our suppliers to register via a web form. So how it works? Using our web forms, you can design a business web form, share it via a link, and data will go directly to your SharePoint. To do that, all we need is to first open our editor and connect to SharePoint tenant. I'm going to copy and paste the URL of my website and click connect. I will give all the required permissions to our designer so it can access the tenant. I will select the list that I need and the content type that I want to be populated. And I'll click connect. And here you can see I'm connected, and here are SharePoint fields. These are fields which will populate automatically when the form is submitted directly to SharePoint tenant. You can just drag and drop them or take a look into our templates. I'm going to use one of existing forms for supplier registration, but before it can be used, I will need to replace all the existing fields which will not be saved to SharePoint. I will need to just delete them and add SharePoint fields in their place. Otherwise, the data won't save. That's an important step. So we are using only SharePoint fields because they will be saved directly to SharePoint columns. I'll just drag and drop them to my form and adjust them to look better on the form. Once this is done, I can open my form via link and just copy and paste or input the information that I need. So as you can see, I can populate it just fine, and even formatting is respected. Like business size has choice option, and choice options are colored based on the colors in the SharePoint list. So I'm going to populate all the fields. We have special fields like phone and email where formatting needs to be respected, and SharePoint fields like personal group and attachments are fully supported. Let's click submit request. Thanks for submitting the form, and let's go and check it out. Here is the result. It's saved to SharePoint, and as you can see, even attachments can be opened. So that's the basics. That's all you need to get started. Now for something a little more advanced. So let's say we want to have some conditions on the form, and we can use JavaScript, or we can have rules and no-code approach. For example, I'm adding a have a website field. As you can see, it's just a common field. It's not a SharePoint field, meaning that it won't be saved to SharePoint. But it can be used with rules on the form. So I have a website, which is a link type field from SharePoint, and I'm going to use rules, specifically hide rules, and I'm going to check if have a website field, which I've just added, well, if it's not equals to true, meaning that it's no, false, then it's going to be hidden, and it will be shown if it's true. Next, I will allow editing records, so users can not just submit information to your SharePoint tenant, but they can also edit it. And they can edit it via a link, and we can also customize column inside SharePoint with the format that we provide. It can be any column we just copy and paste the format and clicking on it will open the link outside of SharePoint tenant. So this link can be shared with anyone. Just copy and paste it and send it. And you can see the ID is all that's necessary to open the exact item, and they can add the website, let's say. So we already have the supplier in our list, and they just wanted to add their own website, so they opened the form, added the website, and when we go to SharePoint, you can see the website has been added. Alright, what else can we do? Here I have a list of countries on our main site and a list of our offices. So let's say our suppliers are working for different countries and offices, but this is a different site. For that, we have a lookup control. Almost exactly as the lookup field in SharePoint, but I can connect to any site within a tenant. So here I'm changing the site from suppliers to main site where we have our countries. I'm selecting the list of countries, and now the lookup will get me the countries to choose from. Next, well, I have offices, right? So I want suppliers to supply specific offices. And how can I do it? Well, first of all, I'm going to choose the main site as well. Offices. So now let's go to filter, depends on, and we can choose country, lookup control, and compare it to country lookup field in the list. And since they are both lookups, we can compare IDs, not just titles. And I will also add rules to hide office until we have country selected. So if country is empty, office will be hidden. Let's check it out. We have no country, office is hidden, select a country, let's say we select Canada, and we have office, and it's Vancouver office. We select France, and it's Paris office. Okay, we select United States, and we can see the United States offices. Alright, seems to work, but before we finish, we need to populate save to property, otherwise these lookups won't save to SharePoint. They are not SharePoint lookup columns, they are custom Plumsail controls, so save to must be populated. And now I'm going to add one more custom Plumsail control called the ink sketch, which will be perfect for our supplier registration form. The ink sketch control is used to capture signatures, and we can also save it to a SharePoint column. Just click Add New in the editor and give it a name, and it will be saved to a SharePoint column. So I'm going to grab a tablet, or a mouse can also be used, and I'm going to hand draw the signature right on the form. And I'm going to submit the request. I've also added our app package to SharePoint tenant. It's free to use for public web forms, and it customizes the look of the column to match the signature that I've submitted. So what else can be customized? Well, let's start with the look of our forms. We can choose any of existing themes or create our own. Let's say I choose the orange theme, and you can see how much the form has changed in terms of colors and field looks, but that's not all. I can also go to pages, and I can create a new sharing page. This allows me to customize footer, header, colors, background, even upload images, change logo, change text before the form, so quite a few options here. I'm going to set some of this. For our page, I'm going to change the background, and I'm going to save it. I can also set as default, and I can share it so it can be used as default for all forms or just shared for some forms. But since I've set it as default, I will just refresh the page, and the look has completely changed after changing the theme and changing the sharing page. You can see it looks very different, so you can adjust it to look like your brand and match your needs, whatever they might be. But that's not all. We also have an AI chat, which you can use to help you with form layout, themes, CSS customization, or JavaScript logic. Simply write what you need and it will do it for you. For example, here I've asked the AI chat to replace tabs container with another type of container called the wizard. And after waiting for a little while, it's going to replace the existing steps with the wizard. And here it is, customized, where user has to complete step after step. Alright, so that's our web forms, but we also have documents which you can integrate, and by using our process you can also upload files to SharePoint generated from a form. Here I have prepared a simple supplier agreement template. It's a very basic docx template. You can see some fields which will be populated from the form, title, and everything else comes directly from the form fields. I'll click create, and we are going to create a supplier agreement process. So all that will be automatically parsed, and we are going to add the delivery to SharePoint. I'm going to connect to the same site, suppliers, and I'm going to select documents library, and I'm going to add a web forms delivery. So we are going to use the same form that we have already created. So bind existing form, supplier registration form. I'm going to click bind, and I'm going to click save after setting it to production mode. So what happens now is whenever somebody completes a form, and we already have this one, so whenever it's submitted, it will go and trigger our process, and the process will create a file for such as docx or PDF, and it will upload it to SharePoint automatically. So these are the things that you can do with our forms and documents. Get started with a free plan of our forms and a free trial of documents by heading to our site and registering for a Plumsail account.